everyone, this is episode 93 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is, hey man, we just got cupset, so I'm kind of sad, and happy. But here with me is OSG. How's it going?
Yo, I'm good. So you talked about cupset. This is a 5-game episode, but overall, I'm very, very happy with our performance. So I guess it's going to be in this episode. It's going to be 2 losses and 3 wins, man. Coming through it. So your cupset. I'm I life right now. So I'm having fun.
No complaints there.
Yeah.
No complaints there, that's for sure.
Premier League's coming down to its final week. There's going to be a big game. Arsenal did its job this weekend. City did its job this weekend. So Tottenham host City on Tuesday, and that's the game in hand that City has. So that'll be City has to win that game. By the way, it's a tie or a loss, and it's over. Arsenal is different because there's no way Arsenal's going to fail on the final game. But so. Premier League coming down to it. It's exciting. It's fun, man. It's fun. And then, so what's up with you, bro? What's going on?
Well, just before I swing to Real Madrid, the funniest thing I found out about this whole title race now is because it's in between Arsenal and City, and because Tottenham is now fading City for like the second to last game of the schedule. Their fans are literally asking Tottenham to lose the game, so that way Arsenal can have no chance to win the title. At least, and I feel like that's like the funniest and saddest thing ever. Just so your rival doesn't win the title, but man, City can definitely do it. Arsenal cannot bottle it, and yeah, man, like that much there. And of course, Real Madrid, they advanced to the Champions League final on June 1st. So man, I'm excited. That was a big game against Bayern Munich. I knew it was gonna be a tough game against Bayern Munich. They always bring out their A game in the Champions League, regardless of what they do. Especially this year, since they actually broke their league title streak, which lasted 10 years, man. So,
man,
oh, man, I'm so happy and looking forward to the final. And also because Real Madrid, they recently won the La Liga too.
Wow. Well, see, I'm good on my side of the world. The U18s won the FA Cup for Man City. And the women have a chance. It'll be this coming Saturday to win the Premier League. So I'm happy with my City side. So it looks like Madrid looking good over there, City looking good over there. So it looks like we're both looking good overseas, man. And based on depending on what part of the episode that you're ready to listen to, you're good in H-Town too. So what's it looking like on this side? On the H-Town side,
a lot of games to cover, and this episode, my last 2 hours, probably a little less, but I'm not a lot of content for you guys. So since we love you that much, and we did do a recording early in the week just to go through the first 2 games, and we are also reviewing the latter 3 games, and those being the Dynamo 2, Dynamo, and Dash chronologically. But first, we're going to go ahead and get you set up with the first 2 games of the week, those being for the Dash and Dynamo. Alright, guys, so we're now recording these on Wednesday. This after the Dynamo and Dash games. We do have the Dynamo 2 game currently ongoing, and yeah, we just have to get started right away with the Dynamo game. They got knocked out of the U.S. Open Cup round of 32 against Detroit City. They tied 3-3 and lost the penalty shootout 11-10. Not a whole lot to analyze. I just want to make it very clear that this was a atrocious loss, a loss as a unit. I don't want to single out any player for doing something wrong. This is an absolute disaster of a result. A game that you had pretty much all first teamers on the bench, first teamers on the field, no Dynamo 2 players, no academy players or anything like that. The expectation was right there, and they just blew it. The game, like I said, this is, if you've seen the Dynamo this year, you can kind of tell like what happened, but pretty much it just came down to like what we've seen like for the past few games or so. Defensively, they've been caught flat-footed, and Detroit just capitalized. Offensively, we're gonna create those chances, and nobody's gonna convert, or they're gonna shoot straight to the keeper, and it's an absolute disaster of a performance. This team, it's not. This team knows what it wants to do, but they don't want to materialize it. They don't want to show it on the field, and they pretty much just give up for that game, and they pretty much just kept Detroit City in, especially in the second half. They just kept them on all the way, and Houston just let them go through. And for me, it's extremely disappointing and extremely upset about that because the Open Cup, like we did last year, it was a tournament that we could go all the way, and in the first round we just gave up, and this result is unacceptable. And I want to leave it at that, but of course we have to talk a little bit more about it. But I want to hear your thoughts, OSG.
Oh man, cup setting is exactly the way to put it. Just cup setting. I mean, you go up 2-0, and the game starts kind of what you're expecting to see, and as long as we can put the ball in the back of the net, and you're up 2-0, you're like, all right, we're gonna coast. We'll see what happens, man. We're gonna coast through this, and then that what should have been a foul, and Detroit just rockets that ball from 35 yards out. Friggin' what a blast! But should have been called a foul to begin with, so it shouldn't have happened. Who's telling if they still would have scored later and catch up? But then just and then the back and forth goes on from there and there, and it's just like, come on, man. I know USL can compete with MLS teams, and that's just this. But you're at home, and then just the opposite happens. You finally score goals, and then they don't play defense. When you're always playing defense, and you have trouble scoring, so it's like, what happened with what's clicking? Obviously, it was a different lineup, so you can use that as an excuse, but uh, that different lineup also got you up 2-0. So I don't know what to say about it. It was just a confusing game, and fine with it. I guess we're done defending the cup and throw the Open Cup out the window now.
Yeah, and
you know, Herman. I know Herman. You were at the friggin' game right there.
yeah,
You know how it was. I know. I heard it was a good atmosphere.
We're talking about
yep.
the U.S. Open Cup
No,
or
no,
the
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
USA.
Cincinnati.
yeah,
Yeah. How's
yeah.
it going,
U.S.
Herman?
Open Cup.
Okay, U.S. Open Cup. It was a good atmosphere for a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge turnout, but for a Tuesday night, we'll take it.
Right.
But I disagree with your take, OSG. I think it's not a panic, or it's not a we need to fire Pat or
Who,
Ben, but
who,
they need to be held accountable.
who said who's panicking?
You're not, but
Right.
the
Yeah.
fan
Yeah.
base is.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
between you and the fan base. I'm in
Yeah.
between you and the fan base. Like, this is not a panic, but this is okay. Let's get the siren. Like, this is a wake up call. This
Yeah.
this this can't happen. It's 11 MLS starters.
First
I mean,
teamers.
not
Yep.
starters. Players. Uh,
First teamers.
yeah, first
Yeah.
teamers. Like, you can't lose this game at home.
So yeah,
No, definitely not, and definitely not to USL team. So it's just yeah, it's mind blowing, and fans have right to be upset, and yeah, I'm obviously like Andres, and we talked about in the last episode. I'm optimistic soccer guy here again, and I'm with Ben. I'm going to be a little more patient. We know there's a main piece. There's a very main piece missing that's going to make this team click once we have a forward, and then the reserve forwards can maybe come in and play the same role finally, and uh, once those things are clicking, it opens up Dorsey a little bit more. Maybe our crosses are finding targets, so I'm just sitting back and waiting, and I'm being patient. I know we can't do nothing now. We have to wait till the summer window for a striker to come in, or for Sebas to wake friggin' up. So what else can we do? We have to sit back, and we have to take what we get put in front of us on that friggin' pitch right behind Herman right there. So I don't know what else to do. I'm just going to be a little more patient, because I ain't got time to cry, man. I like falling asleep on just naturally, instead of having crying to sleep. Right, Andres?
so yeah, and obviously we have to move on from this one. We do have, like we mentioned in the previous episode, we do have a packed 2 weeks, and we actually have three big games,
Yeah.
and all three teams are rivals, and it's gonna be back to back to back. So they're gonna have to turn that on the page very quickly because the games are gonna come over, and we still have to win games to make ground. But of course, we do have a couple road games, and the first one being against Sporting Kansas City. So that's gonna be a big one. And Herman, I said earlier before you joined that it was pretty much a result that was unacceptable, just based on the fact that they were first teamers, like it was already mentioned. Um, yeah, this is something that Ben Olsen is held accountable for. So they have to consider this one
I, I
as a lesson to learn.
I did want to hop on tonight's show with y'all and talk about something that's not being talked about, in my opinion. In the weekend, Ben Olsen justified the result by saying, "Hey, we produced X amount of shots, which was 20, I believe, if I'm not mistaken." He justified his attack that way. I was critical because even though you shot the ball 20 times, you weren't creating dangerous quality goal scoring opportunities. Fast forward to this game, we finally scored goals. The Latif Blessing goal is what I want to see more of the Houston Dynamo. Finally, we take advantage of one of the many corner kicks we got. Thankfully, Dorsey had anticipation and put one in the back of the net. And then we've been begging for them to shoot from outside the box, and Coco did it. And thankfully, he found the back of the net. But the movement that Latif Blessing did on that goal to get in the box, make the run, that's what I want to see more from the Dynamo, because you look at the Dynamo play and they're just moving the ball side to side from outside the box. And I'm looking at the players without the ball and they're all standing still. And I bring this up because we lost the game last night, 55, 60, 65 minute mark, where the Dynamo were controlling possession. They were creating, threatening, but not, fully threatening. And they couldn't get the third goal in. In my opinion, if the third goal comes in at that time, 3-1, you kill them. But the longer you let them hang 2-1, they grow confident and they believe that they can tie it up and force the extra time.
Oh yeah,
Well, and then the way the defense was setting up and allowing them to come at them and not pressing as well, and it was just it allowed Detroit to continue to build up and gain that confidence as well, and it just it just sucked the way that game played out. It was a complete opposite of how the Dynamo typically play. So it was just like I said, it was just confusing to watch. You're like, what the hell's going on? What is this? What is this? What? You did a lot of. I did a lot of those. I did a lot of those, and just sat back in my chair since I was at home watching it and not in Houston, man. But yeah, friggin' what a game.
and pretty much they just gave up in the second half. And the worst part is they were pretty much in front of the ball, the in the two halves of extra time, and pretty much nothing was produced from that. Um, and that's also what helped Detroit's confidence there, just leading up to the penalty shootout. Which, by the way, credit to Detroit, they pretty much almost just kill entirely the penalty shootout, and we were just like a deep band of the stick, particularly like from the chances for Aliyu and Tarbell. But I'll see that they're like at the end of the day, this performance was a loss as a unit, and the blame goes to everyone.
That's
And the sad thing is for me that I am a fan and I support the U.S. Open Cup. I stand against MLS's take, trying to eliminate the cup. But damn, it sucks that we're being used as the example nationwide. We're being used as this is why you want the Open Cup. The USL team beats the MLS team, who happens to be the defending champions of the tournament. It just, like, as a Dynamo fan, seeing that nationally, that stings, man. This hurts. But like you said, Andres, all credit, and Ben Olsen began his press conference that way, congratulating Detroit and acknowledging that they earned it last night for sure.
And the other thing I wanted to mention was just like I'm 100% in favor of the Open Cup. This is pretty much the result of what happens when you lose to a lower division team. I'll take it. If it happens, it happens. This is pretty much just gonna be good press for the Open Cup and what it provides for teams in lower divisions, because they're not gonna have this is pretty much the only shot they have to play against teams in much better leagues, and not just a USL Championship, like lower divisions like USL League One, NPSL, and all those divisions. Like this, is what the Magic is all about. I do love the Open Cup for that specific reason. And yeah, also because MLS took that stance, like it's pretty much all the teams like trying to beat out on the bigger guys. So it's not our fault, but that's how it is now. So we just have to go with it.
No, conspiracy theory. I'm starting another rumor. We did it on purpose because, just like Herman said, we want the cup to stick around. You know, if the fans want the cup to stick around, and this is the way to shove it back to the MLS. Like, look, bro, like, what are you doing? I mean, this is great. Well, maybe let the Mexican teams in the Open Cup, even though I know it's an American tournament. But I don't know. Screw the Leagues Cup. But yeah, it's conspiracy theories. Start the rumor, bro. Hashtag it if you have to. And it's we did it on purpose. It's shove it. Yeah.
You gotta earn the hashtag,
Earned it.
OSG. You
Yeah,
gotta earn the
Like
hashtag.
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
like
So we'll get it out
I do
there.
like the hashtag from Dynamo Faithful begging for more. I feel like that's what we have to do now. But yeah,
Begging for more. Yeah, we'll start that begging for more, even though you can't do nothing about it right now. So, but good one. We'll beg for more when the summer window opens.
right,
So just get it early, let everybody know it, and then we'll find an animation to put at the end of it. So get the Dynamo to, I guess they said get the Dynamo to put their logo next to it.
right. But yeah, this is probably a good way to transition to the next topic of the night. And of course, Herman was there to witness it. So it's coming up right fresh of our minds. Houston Dash, not helping our cause of playing the day after and losing at home 1-0 against Gotham FC. And I was not able to watch the whole game. I did watch a good chunk of it in the second half, but man, I did see a notification about the early goal and the score staying that way, and I was like, okay, the attack is not attacking, I bet, and Jane Campbell's probably carrying us right now. But what do you guys think?
Man, it was one of those games again. All right, so eighth game of the season, eighth different starting lineup, and not just with players playing in different positions, i.e., Bachman, third game, third different position being played. So there's still zero chemistry with the players on the field. They're not playing with each other. I mean, in practice, they are, yes. Whoop de doo, rah, rah. That's different. You're not playing on a 120-yard field by 80 yards wide. You're playing in small games. You're playing in lesser games. You're not playing with your starting group. Smith starting to center back tonight instead of playing in her center defensive role. And like I said, Bachman playing three different positions. Injuries are still coming into play. There was two injuries tonight that came into play, and two injuries that were big in my eye. So it's the one goal came. Peterson was a little bit lacking on marking her girl on a set piece running into the box, and it was a weak touch. Jane Campbell should have had it, but she parried it, and the Williams was right there to just put it in the goal. Nobody was marking her. Nobody was even around her, so that was an easy picking. 8th minute, early goal, and then like you said, Dash couldn't because there's no chemistry. The midfield had no idea what was going on, so the defense was playing well in my eyes. Uh, Ordonez and Bachman were doing okay up top, trying to create chances, but there was nothing happening in the midfield, and uh, whatchamacallit, Gotham was pressing us. So a lot of times we losing possession in our own half of the field or before we can even get deep. So it was just a Gotham taking advantage, and that's why they have so many shots on us. And a lot of those shots weren't good shots on target or anything like that. Jane did have to make a couple saves. We had to scramble and clear some balls out of the box. So it was it's still a building process, but Armand, you were there in person as well, and I'm sure it looks a little different for you than it does for us on TV. Uh, what was the feeling of the crowd before you give me your take on the game that you just witnessed?
Yeah, the crowd again, good for a weeknight in my opinion. I don't have the official number. We didn't have it in the press box, but what I can tell you is the marketing people did a good job. There was a lot of schools out here in different corners of the stadium, so it's like a field trip night for many schools.
4,400 and
So
30, 38, 44,
there you
38.
go. There you go. You tell me if that's good or bad for Dash, but
We do six,
like
7 on the weekends, so yeah, it's pretty
right.
good for a
So
Wednesday night.
that's what I'm saying. You'll
Yeah,
take that any day. It,
yeah,
it, it wasn't it wasn't as empty and it was loud. You can hear "Let's go Houston." It was they did a good job. The people that were here, I'll say that.
good for them. Thoughts on the game, though, bro?
Now the game,
Yeah,
yeah, the game. That's the other. That's I was sad about last night. I'm even more depressed right now because just the vibe I get here, man. It's depressing. It's you you kind of knew what was gonna happen, but I refuse to believe it. But then you see it unfold in front of you, and it hits you. It's like a reality check. Like, damn, this is a tough part of covering sports right now. It's a struggling team for sure, and I think OSG hit it on the nail. It's two things going on right now. I believe the head coach is just testing whatever idea that trying to change something up, and if it works, he'll probably stick with it. That's one thing. Two is the lack of chemistry. I mean, half of Gotham's opportunities happened because we gave them the freaking ball in our own half. Now credit to them for pressing, but it's no chemistry, no link in the midfield. And then our striker, I believe Ordonez, you know, when she gets the ball, we get excited and it's on a counter. But if the ball is not precise, the attack is dead. And you're waiting for that one counter. The crowd gets happy when we get the ball and we're on a counter, but then the bat through ball or it gets taken and the attack just dies, and then you're back defending for 5 minutes before you get the ball again. So it's a tough time to cover this team for sure, gentlemen. It's a sad vibe down here for sure.
so for those listening and for Fox, man, the way the game started with the lineup was Campbell in the back, of course, but the defensive line was Peterson, Schmidt, and Nielsen with Jacobs on the bench. Don't know why Jacobs on the bench. She obviously played in the game, so if you're nursing, you nurse. If you're not, you're not. Get on the field and play because we don't want Smith being our center back. We want her being our CDM. Midfield, Oliveri had one side, Alozi had the other side, and then it was Alves, Hurst, and Rubenson in the middle. So yeah, basically that's 3 new players that really don't play together again. Ordonez and Bachman up top. So it's a lot of pieces everywhere, and it's just like I think Alonso does since we just saw the draft lottery for the NHL last night, and the NBA is getting ready to do one too. So it's like a draft lottery. He just all right, you're starting here. Go have fun. I mean, I know you since you're paying attention a lot more than Herman does on these lineups. So like it's 8 games. I think it's about time that we have to start playing these players more consistently together now. And I mean, I don't know what Fran's thinking. I'm like as a coach, I'm thinking in my mind like myself like. I see the players here. I know what some of the players can do. He obviously can see them. He gets them daily. Come on, bro! Like set your lineup and then just rotate them as you need. But like this every day, every game, and just throwing something out there and seeing if it works. All right, come on, bro! It's time to start deciding who your position players are and set and who plays behind them and let's start playing consistently there and just rotate a couple per game and let's get the chemistry built in right there so you can start seeing some friggin' results because we're not getting them right now. You're not getting the attack, bro. Not.
And just based on the games I've seen this season, I do pretty much agree with the fact that Fran Alonso has to stick with a lineup consistently. Obviously, rotate over time, but like you said, this is like the eighth time they changed the starting lineup, and it's been pretty much a roller coaster of performance and expectations, and and we're pretty much in a bad position right now. We're pretty much sitting second to last in the standings, pretty much depending on the results that happen over the next few days, and we have to see we have to see something like materialize because of the fact that we keep changing stuff around. We're pretty much left on this void of what's going to happen. Granted, you mentioned the analogy about like the Lego set, the previous episodes, and all that because it's a new team, new head coach. But at the end of the day, we have to stick with something because they have to produce something eventually. Because if not, then it's gonna be a nightmare season, and we're pretty much just like a couple months in.
Hey, Legoland is built now. Now you need to start putting the people out in their roles. The cabana girl that's selling drinks, the towel guy over here, the one that takes you to your rooms at the resort. Start putting those people in their positions, and let's see them. Let's see the build the chemistry, man. Build the chemistry, and see. Uh, I, watching on the TV every now and then when they look to Fran, and I don't know if Herman was actually paying attention to Fran at all, but it looked like he was just kind of he didn't know what to do sometimes, and it was getting frustrating to him too. Could you see anything from the sideline on the coaches from the coaching staff, just from their body language?
Not as much OSG. I was trying. I didn't see from my point of view.
Yeah, you were working too, so it's okay. So it just looked like to me like he's just frustrating. I think with the lack of build up in the midfield play today, and I'm sure everybody was, even the fans watching it and the fans there probably were just because we build the ball around the back and get the ball to the midfield. If we were lucky, we get it up top. We would the press would force balls up top, and then it would be just straight to a defender. We lose possession. So I mean, good job. Possession was 48-52 though. So somehow Dash did have a lot of possession, but shots were 16-3. I think one shot on target for the Dash, which is just come on, man. There's so that's that even the numbers show you, Fran. It's time to let's the Lego land is built. Start. Let's just start putting them together. You got to pick. You got to pick a lineup, bro. You got to pick a lineup. Go. I mean, come on. You got to pick a lineup. And I know we still got one incoming, but let's not wait for that one to income. Let's just play. Come on.
Now we have to play because
But
we're
yeah,
now winless in the last 5 games, and get this, we haven't won. The Dash haven't won a home game since July of 2023, and we are 2 months away from making it to the calendar year if they don't win a home game for now. So obviously this is not Fernando's fault, but this is pretty much where we're at right now. So it's a nightmare scenario. Like, look, if they win it on the road, cool, but they have to win at home again. Like it's that simple.
well, and here it is, puts us in 13th place. You say it's way too early. I know it's way too early, but I'm gonna continue to mention standings after every freaking game. 13th place, 6 points. Again, don't want to dig your grave before the season even ends. You got to be able to climb out. So, like I said, it's only a 26 game season. We're eight, so basically this is a third of the season away. One more game, and it's a third of the season away. So you have now we're kind of all right. Hey, come on, Fran. Let's start putting those lineups together. So just my little opinion. So frustrating game. Uh, Rubison goes off with a hamstring early. That's a big loss right there in the CDM field. It did bring Jacobs on and push Smith into the CDM position, so that was a bonus, a silver lining, I guess. Uh, but that's a miss that you're having right there that you don't want to miss. So hopefully she's just that's just going to be a quick nurse, and she caught it early, and she'll be fine for the next game this weekend. So looking forward to seeing what Fran. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it. Curious to see what Fran's going to do next weekend. Harmon, were you able to get anything out of the presser from Fran? Anything down in the tunnel before you came on to the episode here tonight? It's just
So nothing OSG. I saw Fran going to the room, but he must have gone to another door because I stayed there and waited 10 minutes with Dynamo Fan TV, and he never came in.
nothing.
So
Yeah,
he probably came in after I left, but
yeah.
Players wise, nothing. Dejected, head
Oh
down.
yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, it's but I will say this: true pros, because they stay and interact with fans way after the game ends. And if I'm in their shoes, that's tough to do. After performance like that, that's the last thing you want to do. But
Hey, it helps
they're
it. It
they're
helps it.
professionals.
It helps it ease too sometimes because you get to go get the fan reactions, the interactions. You're taking some pictures, and then it's something you have in your mind as you walk back to the locker room instead of oh shit that game sucked. So that's why they do it too.
Hmm.
It's their medicine as well. But the Dash have to move on, man, and they'll have a tough a couple days before they turn around and have to come back and play again. So obviously there's a rotated roster, there's a rotated lineup, so everybody's eligible to play as long as you're not injured. So let's see what Ron wants to do this weekend, and wish him the luck. It'll be Angel City. Sunday night at 6:30 will be the match. So be ready for it, and I don't know, man. Just Fran's got some work to do, and so it'll be curious. And if I could sit down with him, I'd ask him some questions and just pick his mind. Of course, it'd be a closed session. I just want to talk.
Yeah, and
Well, man, anything else from you, bro? Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to move on, and for sure, we'll know the result in the next segment since we're gonna be a few days into the future. And I just wanted to update Dynamo 2. They're currently halftime scoreless 0-0 at Real Monarchs. So we'll get the full review in the next segment too. But for now, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, guys. So depression is over. Depression is over because we have to start with Dynamo 2, man. What a win! What an absolute win against Real Monarchs. And the boys, once again, it's feeling like opposite day just compared to the first half of the season or like early in the season. And because they instead of instead of starting with like winning and just following the game, they're losing the game. But you know what? They're fighting for the results, man. They're fighting for the results. It only took a few minutes to tie the game, and they put the game away like late in the second half. Um, and it's great. And we always trusted Kenny Bundy. I knew like it's like an issue with the team itself, potentially like an issue with the chemistry and all that. But I feel like they're getting it together. I'm liking the direction where this is going because it's a string of positive results so far, and this another a big road win coming off the tie against the Town FC in the shootout. And no man, I'm excited for that. Everything's coming together nicely.
Yeah, man, it looked good, and it was one of those games again. Like they score first, and you're like, "Oh crap!" And it's 63rd minute, and you're like, "Come on, man, here we go again." But Houston Dose was looking good throughout that match and playing really well, and then like you said, it only took 6 minutes to equalize, and then another 11 minutes or 13 minutes to put us up 2-1, and then you're like on the edge of your seat that final 8 minutes plus extra time because you're like how games have gone this season where the teams have come back. So like it was nice to see. It was fun to watch. It was a good time, and even starting with the lineup at the start of the game, it was intriguing and interesting to even get into that right at the beginning because you're like, all right, okay, I see. All right, let's see what he's got.
No, and honestly, just shout out to the team. And this is something that goes to the start of the year. It was a very tough start, just losing 5 games in a row, and I just hope they keep it up. And the way that the team's looking right now, I'm very hopeful for what it's going for. And the one thing I wanted to highlight first is the fact that Jordi Bourbano actually played this game, and he's the newest signing for Dynamo 2, an attacking winger that has a lot of potential for sure. Just based on just based on the fact that he started immediately in his first game, so that tells you a lot. He's already acclimated to the team. I believe you already mentioned that he's already with Dynamo 2 in training after even before the signing was announced. So that's always pretty good. And I'm just looking forward to what Jordy does down the road for sure.
Yeah, man, he was arrived with the team on Sunday, and I think the announcement came the day of the game, and they said he would be available for the game, and then all of a sudden he's starting the game, and this is all happening on Wednesday night. So he was with the team Sunday. So what, Monday you get to practice with the team. Tuesday's a travel day. Wednesday, I guess you get to practice. Do you practice? You don't get to practice. You warm up and you start. So it's nuts, bro. So that's nuts. That's crazy. So he didn't exactly have the greatest of games at all either. But I don't blame him. He hasn't. He's not acclimated with the team one bit. So to get out there and to at least put some effort in and not make the mistakes that a new player could come in and make with a new team. So he'll fit in. With more time, and it's like you said, it's just he's got a lot of talent. So we'll see if he can grow within the team once he does get accustomed with everybody and sees what's going on over there and realizes how everybody plays, because you get the speedy Exxon over there to his right. This game it was Silla over there on the other side, and then of course our normal mid three with Reigns, Gonzalez, and Rodriguez is natural. You're not going to take those three away. The back four was the same as well. So it's just always the top three that are just rotating. Everybody else is kind of sitting there. So kind of getting consistent over there on the dose, and that might be something to do with the run of games right now where they're getting points. Looking forward to it.
And you mentioned Diego Gonzalez, man. You mentioned Diego
Yeah.
Gonzalez, and pretty much the best player for last year for Dynamo 2, and just doing his thing again today, that night, because he'll provide the assist for Osman Silla to score his first professional goal. So shout out to Silla for scoring that, and also Diego Gonzalez for getting his first assist of the year. Man, it takes work. Even though it was a set piece, it was from long range, but he also able to find Silla in a good position to head the ball in to tie the game. So man, he's doing it again. He's gonna be the first team very soon. I don't know about this year, but it's happening.
Well, it's in the plans. It's in the plans. Is he going to be patient enough to do it, and can we hold on to him there? So it'll come. He's a set piece taker. He's got a brilliant shot from the midfield. He's a good player. So he'll fit in at some point. It's just we'll just see when. Obviously not going to be this year unless there's a lot of emergencies going on. So we hope not.
Yeah, and also he was also involved in the second goal. Like, he didn't get credited with assists because he pretty much sent the ball to Isaiah Reed to connect to Steven and Nor, and man, like he's still on the wheel. He's still driving the team. That's what you want to see, especially starting the year with that type of funk. And man, like, Diego Gonzalez is a promise. So you guys better keep an eye on him, because he's gonna play eventually for the first team. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he'll be a part of it with Scylla, with Anor, and then to all those everybody that listen, and to the new fans that are just paying attention to those. Anor and Scylla, both draft picks, come in, and then both here they go get a goal finally in this game right here. So nice. So Chara didn't even get to play this game. That's okay. I'm fine with that. I know what he can do. So it's good to let the new guy come in off the signing and get some minutes. We'll see what happens as we move on through the season. But what a win, 2-1, man. Nice. Xavier Valdez had to make a couple saves. They friggin' had 19 friggin' shots, dude. 19 shots on us, and we had 12 shots on them. 57% possession for them from Real Monarchs, 43. So a little different whenever it's supposed to be the same style that the Dynamo play, and you get out possessed, you get outshot, you get out everything. But shots on target, 6-5 us, and you end up winning the game 2-1. So yeah, you wanted it more, and it showed on the not just in the stat line but on the score line. So good fight, boys.
Hey man, my start of the game, and this is pretty big. So Real Monarchs actually outshot us by a 19 shots to 12 shots, but Houston had the most shots on goal with 6/5, and the player that led the team for Dynamo 2 in shots on goal was Sebastian Rodriguez. And man, that kid, we're not ready for him, man. We're not ready. He's coming.
It's going to be fun. He's going to be fun when he gets his chance, man. He's going to be fun. and he will get it.
But yeah, and he did play full line for this game, so that's pretty good. Obviously, this is the environment that he has to be so he can keep getting some playing time because he's not gonna be in the first team anytime soon. So might as well.
Yeah. Just signed his homegrown contract that starts next season. So, he's in the plans. So, he's only 16. So he's got time, bro. He's got time. He's got
Yep.
time. So, give it to him. Get your education. He's still studying. So, keep it going. But he's right there. He'll be a mainstay. Diego's right there too. So hopefully they both come up together. We'll see. We'll see. The future's bright. There's some talent down there. There's some talent down there on Dose.
100%. And yeah, Dynamo 2 is going to be on a bye next week, or this week, and we post this episode, and they're going to play on May 22nd back home. So finally we got a home game, and they're looking pretty good. I hope they keep up the momentum because they're going to need to come back and fight in the standings for sure.
Yeah. Another bye. Which will be good. That's crazy. You play a game, you buy a game. You play a game, you get a bye. So, see you in 2 weeks on the Dose. So that'll help. I guess it'll help them. I don't know. More training, get more fit, get more informed, get more chemistry. So yeah, I'll take the bye. We're gonna get a run of games though. So bring it on.
Yep. Well, yeah, that was Dynamo 2. Now let's get to Dynamo. And man, I'm just gonna tell you right now, man. This is what happens. This is what happens when Icelander. This man right here. This man right here shows up. He decides to show up finally. It's first time in the year, man. Oh my goodness, what a game! What what a game by Dorsey. I hope he listened to the episode. I was fired up because man, I was so pissed. But man, he showed up and he provided. He could have done more. And man, it was a big game for Houston.
Yeah, since you started the segment you started the episode with Dorsey, leading off with Dorsey. So segue into Dorsey. Let's just play the clip that we have of Dorsey's comments that Herman got from the press conference where he actually asked the questions. So if you don't mind, take 2 seconds, just listen to this little clip of Dorsey, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll get to see it, and his expression on his face just says everything. Take a look.
That's a great result for the team. I think even before this game, after the Open Cup game, we kind of sat down as a team, and I think that we said this is a big moment for the team. This could be a turnaround situation. We came out with that mentality, and it's good to get a result away. Yeah, it feels fantastic. I think anybody who watches that should also watch Steve's ball into me. He puts it in the absolute perfect spot. Behind Shaloy. As that ball's coming to me, I'm kind of licking my lips knowing that I can put that ball right in front of Shaloy, beat him, and at that point it was just about picking out the right pass at the right time, and good enough to have Ibra on the far side making that run.
Talk about how close this group is. I just saw and got a kick out of the team photo with the shades in the locker room. Just talk on the camaraderie of this team and how close you guys are.
It's something special. There's not much more to say. I think that this team, time and time again, we show up for one another. It's just special. It's so special. I think that it's such a selfless team and one that we're all willing to give for each other, and it's beautiful. It really is.
See, the Dorsey expression right there at the end is just it's incredible. He's just like referring to the picture in the locker room that was being taken, and just the boys having a good time and the camaraderie and all that. You love to see it, and that's why Ben has just been saying, be patient, just be patient, It'll just come together, and things are lining up, and and also don't be greedy. We won't play that clip, but you'll be able to find it somewhere else. But don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. But yeah, well, good shout out to Griff, like you said. Doing good to lead into this segment, man. Good deal.
No, shout out to Dorsey. Like we try to criticize the players when they're doing bad, but at the end of the day, we're still supporting them. We still wanna see the best of them when they represent the team, and Dorsey's doing that. And we're happy I'm happy he's getting back into that. But yeah, just getting back into the game. This was a big game because not only Houston is coming off the loss in the Open Cup against Detroit City, but they also haven't won a game since mid-April in MLS, and it's pretty much been like a 4 game winning streak since then in all competitions. Um, and also we have also with the fact that we haven't scored a single goal in league play in the last 3 games, and a lot of question marks in the offense for sure. And what are the pieces that aren't clicking that we should be addressing? So we can probably start with the lineup, like with that. So and also we can probably start with the people that are missing. Escobar is not available with an injury, and also Sebastian Ferreira is gone as well. I'm
Where
tired,
is
man.
Sebas?
No comment. No
Where
comment.
is Sebas? Where is Sebas? Where in the world is Sebastian Padilla? We
But
found
yeah,
Carmen. We found Carmen San Diego. Now it's where the hell is Sebastian Padilla?
instead of now we have to find Sebas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but yeah, and Dorsey coming back from suspension because he was given the red card against FC Dallas, so that's pretty good. And obviously for me, I was still kind of concerned because Dorsey, I was kind of in that fun from earned in the past few games, but man, Dorsey, we'll get to that when we explain the game, but yeah, pretty much it. Lineup you suspect up until you see the front line, only because we did get some adjustments up there. Aliyu was on the wing this time around, and starting in the middle will be Seba Kovacic and Basi on the other side. And what are your thoughts on this specific lineup? Because I personally liked it, only because I felt like Seba would have been able to find those gaps in the middle of the box, or probably somewhere else to pretty much take advantage of those opportunities. And although for this game, I feel like it was a different story.
Well, it's the same lineup that we've seen week to week to week. So same thing. Yeah, it was just who's going to cover for Escobar, and this time it was Steres. So, and then Steres ends up getting hurt and having to come out, and Tate Smith goes in. So it's what we expected with the lineup. Just like so. Who's available and who's going to play is the real question, because who his favorite 11 is. If they're available, he's going to play them. If Sebas is available and healthy, he would have started, and somebody would have had to come out, and it probably would have been Seba that would have had to come out. So Seba would have came out for Sebas, but Seba he's playing that false nine. He's doing what he can right now, and he's just working his butt. And then Bossy's playing that rotating cam on the right side along with Coco, where they're just kind of a tornado in that little rotation right there. Coco playing a little deeper than Bossy, obviously, when times come, but it is, and Dorsey making his overlapping runs, or when something comes earlier, it was a lacing down the middle run. Uh, so I'm happy with Steres making that start too. I'd rather Steres than Schmidt, to tell you the truth, but okay with Schmidt coming in, just the way Schmidt got tore up last week. So it is what it is, but it's just the biggest question is where were the goals going to come from, and where are the goals going to come? And obviously, where the goals came from in this game, and you kind of hope for more. Hence, where Ben comes in the press conference afterwards saying, "Don't be greedy. Take the 2, take the win. Don't be greedy. Save them for another game. You got enough to win this game." So, which was hilarious, but yeah. So I'm good with it, man. I'm good with it. It was a good performance, especially on the road against KC. It's a tough place to play. We don't play well there. We lose 1-0, lose 1-1, lose 2-1. So shoot, good win, good vibes. Team played well. It didn't look ugly as times as it does on the road. Hector Herrera with his blast, Dorsey with his great dribble and assist, Aliyu with a nice little finish into the corner, kind of wheeled it back into the corner. Nice, bro. I like it, bro. So the lineup can't complain. It's because we know the chances come. Just how are they going to come, and can we hit the target? Because we always have the opportunities. So
No, yeah, and I wanted to start talking about midfield, just to segue into the game,
Yep.
because that's definitely one of the ways to score in this game, especially in the first half. And I wanted to start with Ache because man, he had a pretty bad start to the game. His passes were getting picked up immediately, and your favorite player of all time, Memo Rodriguez, was just picking him up like candy in the candy shop, man. Like he was stealing all the balls. Credit to Memo for just doing his best, and of course he's not getting anything past Steve Clark, but yeah, he was pretty much if you kind of figured out Achacha at that point, and I was kind of concerned because most of the passes were going through him, and he was giving a lot of giveaways, and yeah, but man, I, that goal though, I feel like it changed the game for Houston, or just at least the momentum heading to halftime through the second half.
For all the work Memo was doing and all the chances he was creating, and then to forget about Ache on a corner kick, and everybody forgot about him. Nobody marked him. The ball's played short, played back to Ache. He dribbles in, like, I don't even know if he even takes a touch. He just kind of places his body over top the ball and then just hits it brilliantly. Nobody could do nothing. But Casey didn't pressure, didn't do nothing. Like, it just left him wide open. And I think he was kind of surprised because initially it probably was going to be a nice little cross, and it turned into like, let me shoot this. I've done this 1,000 times, 2 million times probably. So, uh, sorry, Memo. All the great things you were doing, you forgot one main thing, and it got him a goal. But Memo did good. He played well. Even the announcers were all over it too, where he's playing well. He's not a starter in Kansas City, so when you get your moments to shine, you shine, and against the Dynamo, you shine. So you show what you got. Now, can he continue to do it now that his team's not playing the Dynamo? But yeah, Memo cooked Ache there for the most part until Ache put it in the back of the net and said, "Sorry, bro, this is how you cook."
Yeah, and just going back to that goal, because I think Alan Pulido was supposed to mark him, and he's the closest player to Achache, but I guess he was just out of range to do anything about it. Because when he just looked at it, it was already too late. Like the ball was already curling into the goal,
Yeah,
and it was the goal was so good. Tim Melia didn't even move. He didn't do anything. It was too late.
it was too far over, man, and he was
Yeah,
too far. He
yeah,
was out. He was cheating, trying to catch that cross, and nobody marked open. That was an open goal. That's easy for Ache. The old man scored.
yeah, and Houston will stay with the 1-0 lead through halftime, and Houston was looking pretty good. and it was a good way to end the first half, especially since how poor the beginning of the first half was, and of course the second half will start, and I wouldn't say it was like kind of like a chase game because it didn't feel like it up until KC got tied the game, and that was up to the 61st minute, and it was a pretty good long range attempt. I felt like Steve Clark had like a finger on it, but it just went like past him. I think the shot was like done in front of like a few players. So I don't know if he could have had, maybe if they weren't there, he could have reacted earlier. But it was a good goal nonetheless.
Yeah, it was probably more of a surprise to him than anything. And did he have an opportunity to save it? Did he not? I don't know. We'll just leave it at that since it didn't kill us in the end. It was it was one of those just kind of bounce around, boom, and then KC scores. So uh, not like they didn't deserve it, but whatever they did, they got their goal. What is Salio or Salayo or however you say his name?
Salo, yeah,
Yeah, whatever. It was, and then it was like, here we go, 1-1. All right, well, plenty of
yeah,
time, 30 minutes left. So you're okay because you were confident the way the game was playing. So it was just it didn't heartbreak. It didn't really hurt the team after you come out and play from the whistle from there. So it was nice to see on the road, stuck together, fought together, continued the performance before the subs started coming in because Herrera ended up coming out at the 70th minute. Now he's played 70, so we're up to 70, y'all. Still starting, just not playing full 90, which I'm okay with, especially if it's Blessing coming in for Herrera, because I'm liking what Blessing's doing. So that's a good sub right there. So we don't need Herrera to be 90, man. We just need him to be healthy and available and do what he can do. We got other people that can do what he does whenever he's not on the field for the last 20, 15 minutes, whatever it is, 10 minutes. But yeah, good fight when it was 1-1. Didn't give up. He didn't
and I
know
was
what was going to
confident.
happen.
I was confident they were going to pull off a result because they kept doing the runs, particularly Dorsey. Dorsey pretty much just like ran through midfield and pretty much tried to look for the next player up on top of the box. He was pretty much doing all the attack, and that's pretty much what Benosa has been looking for, what he wanted him to do since the start of the year. And he was placing it. Like, this game could have been, we could have scored 3 or 4 goals in my opinion, and it's just unfortunate that we just couldn't find the back of the net, especially in the final third. But man, Ali, you finally caught a break here. Man, I was so I was so happy for him because he was getting all those opportunities, but every shot he made, either went straight to the keeper or just past the post. And this time he found the bottom corner of the goal that just went straight in. Like, the shot itself was insane, and the pass itself from Dorsey was insane too. And that was
Well,
an
and
amazing team play overall.
the pass from Steve Clark, as Dorsey said from
Right.
the clip earlier, it started with Clark, and then Dorsey just did all that work as you mentioned earlier, and just dribbling down the middle, right down the middle, and they didn't want to come to him, and then it just led that passing lane was just right there, and Aliyu, we can say it. He didn't fumble it. He didn't fumble feed it.
Yep.
He didn't get the greatest of shots off, but he put it exactly where he wanted it, and it had enough pace on it to get past the keeper and go right into the corner. And like I said earlier, he probably wheeled it to the left a little bit. So, when it was behind the keeper on the TV, you couldn't tell how much it curved or if it did it all. It probably jumped over a little bit. So, I mean, yes, good. Thank God, because he wasn't having that good of a game too. So it's funny. He has good games and can't score. This game, he wasn't having a good game, and he friggin' scores. So I'm sure the fans still hate him, but I don't.
Man, like, it's okay to be upset if he misses his opportunities. He's obviously going to try and improve next time, but man, that kind of hate, you still want your player that's starting every game to do better, and just gotta support him. And we've already seen it. He's a team top scorer. Granted, it's only 4 goals, and but still, he's providing our goals. We got results thanks to him. So I think everyone should calm down a little bit, like, because granted, we needed, like, probably like a striker that can do a lot of things, but this is what we got right now. So
Yeah, man. And he's working that wing. He's working that wing, and he's doing what he's asked to. When Brad Smith comes in, he's told to push it a little bit, and then he works a little bit. Then he goes down with a fake injury, and Ben subs him out. So he's got to stop going down with those injuries if he wants to finish the game off. But he's doing the work, and he is trying to grow, and you can see he's learning, and he's doing the work. He's training properly. He's always got a smile. So, he's doing things to his game he didn't have last year. So you can't complain, man. You can only see what progress is being made, and the goals will come. The goals will come. We just have to be patient. And, granted, luckily it's just not right now. It's not killing the team. So we're getting our points. We're 17 points in the standings. So, and Aliyu gets the game winner, which is, take that, fans. Dynamo fans,
and just
to be clear, not Aliyu fans, Dynamo fans.
just to close out the game, I feel like it would be good to just close it out with Steve Clark, because we already mentioned that he provided that big pass to send Dorsey to force the second goal. Man, 5 saves in the night, and a massive big save in stoppage time in the 90th minute to to keep the win from close range too. So like he just he just throws his body on the side and just gets the ball to force the uh to eventually later on like put the ball away. And man, another big game for him too. A lot of people a lot of people are doubting him because because of his age. But man, he's putting performances like this a lot. So he's still good, man. He's still good for me.
Our noodles are good over here with Steve Clark, so he's fine. Yeah, he keeps doing what he's doing. Those saves, the super save in the last 30 seconds of the game. Jesus, man. So yeah, Steve, you keep doing what you're doing, brother. We love you over here at Noodle Time. So and Dynamico. So don't worry about some of them other ones. I don't know he doesn't, man. He's focused and he's doing what he's supposed to do, and that's Steve, because you can see when there's 200 people yelling at him over there in the supporter section at home, and he's just ignoring you 100% of the time. It's funny. So he's a professional. He's a grown man. He's done this before, so uh, we're glad to have him.
Yeah, and big road win for the Dynamo. They are still fighting, or at least in the middle of the pack for now. And they're just
I guess it's a segue into the MLS scores then. Okay, got you. Boom. So let's get into it. So Toronto, obviously, first team listed first, so it's the home team. So Toronto and New York, 2-3. New York with the win. Montreal goes up 2-0. It's Miami. Miami comes back and win 3-2. Not did they just come back and win with 3-2. It was 2-2 at halftime. And Messi, no assists, no goals. Then Miami wins 3-2 against Montreal. I know Montreal's just losing their minds over there. I don't know if you got a chance to see that game while it was happening or see the highlights. Dude, that one was just.
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it before the Dynamo game, and I was like, okay, Inter Miami is gonna come back, and they did it again.
Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. Yep. Yeah. Atlanta lost to DC United 2-3, so another road win for an MLS tournament. Here we go. Let's keep the trend going. Philadelphia Union cannot beat Orlando City 3-2. So again, 3-2. The goals are just coming because that's 4 straight games to start off the calendar. 3-2. Let's just add to it. Red Bulls win 4-2 over Revolution. So man, they're goals galore, starting off in that 6:30 time slot. And you're like, okay, Dynamo has to score today. Then everybody else is scoring. This is obviously before the game has started. Charlotte 1-0 over Nashville. Columbus lost 2-1 to Cincinnati. And the first goal coming from Cincinnati belongs to Kevin Kelsey. 7 minutes into his MLS career, scores a goal, puts Cincy up 1-0. Then they score again up 2-0. So his goal wasn't the goal winner, but it opened up the scoring. 7 minutes coming off the bench into that game. Oh God. So whatever, nothing we can do about it since he had the right. So it is what it is. But Kevin Kelsey scored. Moving on, St. Louis beat Chicago Fire 3-1. FC Dallas beat Austin 2-1 up in Toyota Land over there. I don't know what they call this stadium, but 2-1. Austin scored late with a penalty kick to make it 2-1. Otherwise, it looked like Dallas was in control of that game. So I'm sure Austin's disappointed. Dallas is feeling good about themselves. Blah blah blah. Houston beat KC, of course. Colorado San Jose with an upset in Colorado. And guess what the score was?
3-2.
It was, bro. It was 3-2. San Jose with a win right there.
Yep.
Then LA Galaxy, Real Salt Lake 2-2. LA FC beat Vancouver 3-0. And then today on Sunday, as we record, Portland Timbers lose to Seattle Sounders. Seattle Sounders with a win 2-1. And then here we go. Seattle's creeping up the standings. They're sitting in 10th place. I know you don't like hearing standings, but I like to tell you the standings just for these reasons why. We talk shit about Seattle the entire season, and then all of a sudden here they are. They get a nice win, 3 points on the road. That's enough to propel them to 10th place in the West standings, and they're right below that line. So that team that everybody's writing off all of a sudden is starting to climb. But West standings, Real Salt Lake, Minnesota Galaxy all up the top three, 22, 20, and 20 in points. Vancouver in fourth, LA. Houston moved up to seventh. Austin moved to eighth. So we just switched places, both those two. St. Louis staying right behind us as well. So, and with that win, San Jose, Portland now is the worst team in the West. And then, of course, Miami is the best in the East, Cincinnati right behind them. So we're above the line, got those good points, switched with Austin again. So that's what we're going to take out of the standings this week. And San Jose is not the worst team in the West anymore.
Yeah. We got a couple of big games this week too. Wednesday
yes, we do.
Yeah, Wednesday we're visiting Austin. Oh, we are staying, but Houston's technically visiting Austin.
OSG mileage tracker will still be activated for that game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so we do have Austin FC on Wednesday and FC Dallas back in Houston on Saturday. So it's gonna be another Texas week.
Woo! A big one. A road and a home game, man. That's going to be nuts. We haven't ever done anything in Austin, so this is going to be huge just to get something out of Austin. So we'll go in for the win. We'll see how the game plays out. Hopefully come out with a draw. And, at least for a Wednesday night, those that come to the game will have a nice drive back. For us, we'll get back in a good time and just go to bed, and either we'll cry ourselves to bed or we'll just be happy and fall asleep of joy. And of course, you said the Frisco coming to Houston on Saturday, so that's almost a year or 2 years since Haji showed up. It's a big game. We'll see what the weather's going to be like, and if it's going to be the hell in the shell. Can we get back to our fortress days? But yeah, as you said, look forward to it. We'll see you there. I'll be there for both games. I know he'll be there for both games. So y'all look for us.
And also for the Dash game on Friday, which we'll get to talk about right now because we just finished watching the game, and insanity. Defensively, it was a good game, but the difference is scoring a goal in the 97th minute by Paige Nielsen, former Angel City defender.
Yep, traded for 3 weeks ago.
And 3 weeks ago equals 3 points.
Yep. What a way to do it, man. And so entering this game, we've been begging for consistency and what are we going to get out of Fran Alonso in his lineup choice right here. And when I saw this lineup, I actually want to applaud. I was happy with the lineup and the choices that he made. It was expected what you were going to get with your back three. Campbell's obviously in goal. Jacobs is going to be your CB. Peterson's going to be one, and Nielsen's going to be the other. So that's what you expect. That's what you're going to get. So nothing different right there. He's not playing with it. You're fine right there. Sophie Schmidt gets to go back to the midfield. Super happy with right there.
Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah. Puntingham gets to play the other CDM with her. Barb Olivari gets to play rotating all over the friggin' midfield. Amanda West MVP on the left side, Patterson on the right side, and then, of course, Bachman and Ordonez up top. So it's that lineup right there. Boom. I like it. It's fine. And Puntingham is covering for Rubinson. Which happy Mother's Day to her. She just had a birthday a couple days ago, and now happy Mother's Day to some of these girls and some of those that are not playing for the team right now. But I'm okay with Puntingham when she plays CDM, and she did very well. She did her job. Sophie Smith, they got themselves in yellow card trouble, hence the substitutions coming in later in that game. But as far that was a good change. I'm okay with that change being made. It was obviously a force when you had to made with Rubinson being injured and not being available to play. So I'll take it. Consistent lineup is what we were asking for. The chemistry showed better. So that was the lineup going into the game, man. How do you feel about the lineup?
Well, the West, Patterson, and Cunningham, they didn't start in the previous game, and they ended up starting in this game. And I think they were one of the best players to the Dash uh, tonight. I mean, West was just like driving the attack for the most part. She was tracking back and defending extremely well. And pretty much like anything that was thrown on her side was pretty much, for the most part, just taken care of. The one thing that I was extremely concerned was Elisa Thompson for Angel City, because she's an explosive player that if you're in the wrong situation, she might just capitalize on that. And she was essentially neutralized in this game, and that's something that goes for West, and also the, the all the midfielders that just went through, but
Thompson was able to get around West, but
a couple
West
times, yeah.
was able to stay close enough and keep pressure under, and then those crosses ended up becoming nothing, and becoming of nothing. We were able to clear the balls out, and Jane Campbell didn't have to be a savior this game, and just making save after save after save. Where she's obviously the big highlight of the game. About time where she doesn't have to be the star. But yeah, West did a good job of trying to slow her down, and she was and it was made her ineffective for the most part. So yeah, good point right there on that one.
And you mentioned Jane Campbell. Pretty much the trend of the season is pretty much just Jane Campbell making an absurd amount of saves because she has to step up, because the defense keeps letting in through balls. This game,
Yeah.
I was somewhat comfortable with the way it was going, because I felt like defensively Houston was starting to click. They still had that type of connection that really neutralized most of those dangerous opportunities up until Jane had to step up, which weren't that many, that those many instances like previous games this year. Um, and that's what I liked about this lineup specifically, because I was they were pretty decent in the first half, and they kept up the momentum in the second half, which for me was a big deal. And that's one of the main reasons why they won this game, because they kept the game close up until the 90th minute.
It's been one of those where the defense has been solid, and the defense is performed very solid, except for that very first game of the year, and you can trust them, and you know what you got from them. And now that you've had this same back three starting, you're good with it. You're playing players together that have played together. You mentioned that West and Patterson both had last game off, but they started every other game prior to that, pretty much. West a little less than Patterson, but they're playing together. They're starting. Everybody's knowing how the team, the chemistry rose from maybe 15% to about 45% for this game right here. And it was nice to see at moments, and there was good opportunities. Even when they pulled Ordonez and Bachman out towards the end of the second half there and put Logia and Andresa in. And I like what Andresa does when she moves forward. But Logia actually had good opportunities and had good created chances. Now, I guarantee you, we'll come back and talk about her opportunity later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No, well,
it,
those substitutions, they pretty much opened the game for Houston,
yeah.
because you mentioned Alosi was able to find the gaps, and and the game, I was like, okay, Houston can score right now. And granted, the goal that came afterwards didn't really come in from open play, but still, Houston was just going forward, creating as much as possible, and it was a positive, just based on previous games. So credit to Fran Alonso for opening the game up for Houston and setting that up. Honestly,
And not parking the bus, and we know he's not a park the
not
bus kind
parking
of
the
guy.
bus. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he's not a park the bus kind of guy. So we know that, and he's showing it, and he's taking the chance, and he wanted to win the game, and he went for it. So it's funny how the Dash play better on the road than they do at home. Even now with a new roster, a new coach, new everything, it's just the soccer universe sticks with what they want to stick with, I guess. But it was fun watching this game. As the game grew, the Dash started to take more control of the game, and like I said, the chances from Angel City weren't dangerous. and we were able to stop anything and everything that came through, and we returned the favor, and we were taking some good opportunities, some good shots that go out for a goal kick, a couple went out for a corner kick. They had a couple saves. Alozi, Jesus, if I don't mind the shot,
Yeah.
but Jesus, if you just would have passed the friggin' ball, how did you not see Andresa right there? This is
Yeah.
at 0-0 still, 0-0, and like, come on, you got to be kidding me! Could have finished the game off right there, put it up 1-0. Like, but she takes the shot and the keeper blocks it. Oh my! I was like, God. So in hindsight, too, you missed a shot. Why didn't you pass it? But that's an easy one, man. You should have passed it. Every great shooter passes that ball right there and
Yeah,
gives up the
and
go.
that wasn't her only opportunity. She only got a few
No,
more, and
yeah.
and she shot it just wide. And I was like, oh no, is this Aliyu or no? Because like it's disappointing. I know LOC has kind of had like a rough start of the season, and I'm ready for her to get out of that get out of that mindset. But yeah, I'm looking forward to how she develops over time.
Hey, I like her. I like Elogio off the bench, super sub. I like this lineup that came out there with this that was starting. Obviously, Kiki Kaiser, when she comes back, she'll probably be a role that's playing over on the left. So her and Amanda West will rotate. Patterson will rotate. So those three you'll probably see rotate. Who else are we missing from our lineup? Well, like I said, Rubinson with the CDM. So there's still two players right there that'll probably be the regular starters, but it's nice to see these other players you can count on coming off the bench and being role players. Yuki being a role player. She's not a starter. She's a role player coming off the bench. So it's good to see Andresa. I'm okay with it. Andresa coming off the bench if Barb's starting. I'm okay with Barb coming off the bench if Andresa's starting. I think those two just need to rotate with each other, and those are your cams. Depending on who you play, you've got pieces that can play in places now. So let's just get the consistency and continue with the chemistry. Consistency and chemistry. I'm not going to start rapping, y'all. Y'all thought I was, but psych.
No man, let's go start with the goal because we mentioned Andresa, and she was eventually subbed in, and man, she got that chance for Paige Nielsen to capitalize, and it was a corner kick. She scored the ball inside the box, and the ball bounced once inside the box, like no one was able to claim it, and Paige Nielsen was just like let it rip, and she got it, and this was at the 97th minute. I don't. It's kind of hard for us as Dash fans to experience any happiness at the 90th minute sometimes, but it happened.
It happened. It was amazing. It was the last second, with barely enough time for a kickoff, and the whistle blows. Like you said, corner kick. It drops. Nobody hits it. It bounces off a defender right to Paige Nielsen, and right to who none other than Paige Nielsen, who played the full 90, who is being the left back and just playing an absolute had a stellar 3 games since she's been here, and then to in her former stadium against her former team, and the ball drops to her, and she finishes back of the net, celebration station. Bring the ball back for a kickoff. Blow the whistle, and then you just see the bench clears. The bench clears, and everybody goes and celebrates with Paige Nielsen, and she deserves it. Highlight superstar player of the game right there, Paige Nielsen. Give it to her. And this time it doesn't have to be Jane Campbell for a change, which
Finally,
I guarantee you she's going to sleep well tonight.
man, we needed that. We needed that. Second win of the year for Houston, again on the road. I just hope this result keeps building up because we gotta get those results both home and away, especially with how we started the year. So, but man, what a this was a big performance for Houston overall. Just big 3 points that can go a long way.
A big 3 points, bro. A big 3 points. So to add to that 3 points, again, like you say, it's early in the season and standings, this and that. Wednesday, coming off that loss against Gotham at home, you're like, all right, so we're going to fly on the road, LA. This isn't going to be an easy game, but they've only played 3 of their games at home and they're 1-2 prior to this match. So you're like, all right, let's see. Consistency, though, builds to a win. But OL ran in Kansas City 0-0, so Kansas City ends up with a draw. San Diego and Utah, San Diego with 2-0 win. Now we make it to Friday. Louisville gets a loss against Washington. Washington with the top team in the league. Orlando gets a 1-0 win over Bay. Portland wins again. Portland 4-0 over Orlo Reign. Orlo Reign's struggling big time. Chicago 3-1 win over Utah, and then KC gets another win this weekend. KC over in North Carolina 1-0. San Diego and Gotham end up in a draw, and then of course, as you just heard, Dash with that 1-0 road victory, and that game pushed the Dash from 13th to 10th place in the standings. So what a jump, what a win, what a friggin' win can do. Get you out that friggin' hole, so now you're not in a 6-foot grave anymore. You're probably about in a 2-foot grave right now, so you're okay. So it's a good friggin' win, man. Leaving Utah and Bay, the 2 expansion teams are sitting in 13th and 14th, and at the top after today's games, KC is back atop of the league with Orlando right behind them. Or actually, they're tied with 21 points. They got the exact same record. Oh man, and goal differential real quick is going to KC with 10/8. Washington 3 and Portland 4. So what a league, man. The parity's starting to pay out. So get those wins when you can, because they're very important coming in the NWSL. But it was a solid performance. What a great win. What a way to win. It makes those flights even better, and those travel back even better instead of being, come on. So
Good win. Good win overall.
Look forward to the big game at home against friggin' Portland and Sarah Loudon.
Yeah. And that's going to be on Friday, the day before the Texas Derby against FC Dallas. So, guys, get your tickets if you want a weekend with a lot of soccer.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to that game. I'm sure OSG is probably going to that game if he can. But I know it's going to be.
There's no probably. There's no if he can. Hello.
Good.
I'll be
That
at
was
the
a test.
No, there's no test. The test is you. You already know
I told you I'm going.
You already know I'm going. I go
Good.
to those games. I go to every home game. So
Yeah. And that one's going to be on Friday. That's going to be at 7 p.m. It's going to be on NWSL Plus. And if you have the cable subscription, it's going to be on Space City Hub Network, the alternate channel. So that's going to be good. Man, they need to build off, because they need all the points they can get right now.
Hey, what something to build off of right there. Well, so now it's up to Fran. I'll be curious. I'm going to go listen to the press conference to see what his thoughts are all about it as we get ready to log off. So y'all please go look back and listen to it if you haven't listened. This is your cue to go listen to it and see what he says. And I'll be curious to see what his lineup is on Friday against Portland, and if he's going to keep it consistent and what changes he does make. Of course, I expect changes to be made, but what changes are they, and how much difference does it make in the lineup? So y'all just DTFO. You bring that down a dub, and we'll just keep moving on. Big week ahead. Big week. Two for Dynamo, and 1 for Dash this weekend. Enjoy the break dose. Let's enjoy the show.
Yep. And as always, guys, we do appreciate your support. Keep following us on Twitter for all the news at Dynamic Foxtrot, at Noodle Tiempo. And also keep listening to our podcast wherever you listen to, as well as YouTube and Golf CB. If you want to, guys, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that's big, and we do appreciate it. And of course, follow us as well on Instagram at Dynamic Foxtrot. That's where we put a lot of our pictures and all that content. And Herman and OSG are working to get that out there for us. So So yeah, it's a big season. A lot of teams playing. We just reviewed 5 games, so this is pretty much what I have to deal with sometimes this season. But that's how it is. But would appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So if you're ready to go, man, you told them where to follow. I would like to see some of them to comment in some of those platforms where instead of just leaving reviews, go ahead and give us a comment, especially on YouTube, on Foxtrot TV. Give us a comment. But you know, as you said, it's been five games we just reviewed. It's been a long episode, so let's just get ready to turn the lights off and
Yep.
move on to the big week ahead of us, man.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, you turn off the lights. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and staying real, y'all.